Today, I want to talk about HBAR again and highlight how the governing council members and what they have been involved in the past and what they are involved in now mean for the progression of HBAR, especially in terms of price, because HBAR in particular has been having some price action hits along with a couple of other alts like Casper and XDC too. But I also want to talk about why the price right now shouldn't be that important for me, and it shouldn't be important for us either, because there's so much going on with HBAR that once we get regulatory clarity, which unlocks what I think will be a utility token boron, HBAR is very well positioned, especially in the payments area. And I have a couple of examples to talk about there for things that they are involved in right now. So I want to briefly provide an overview of some of the highlights of the members of the governing council. We've got people from Boeing, who was or is a cybersecurity executive. We have some Avery Dennison involvement here. There's some research expertise. And a couple of the more interesting ones that I saw were these ties into ServiceNow and IBM. You see IBM with a couple of the people involved here. And IBM is related to XLM as well through the IBM Hyperledger and WorldWire projects. It is very interesting that HBAR and XLM are tied into IBM just because those IBM projects are so extensive and all encompassing in the future of the payments space. It seems like HBAR might be concentrating more on the micro transaction part, whereas XLM might be like the more retail payment part, but that's not set yet. I have some opinions on that, but at this point in time, it's only an opinion. Now, another interesting thing is the involvement of the World Economic Forum as well. The interesting thing about the World Economic Forum is that they have either direct or indirect partnerships or involvement with HBAR, Quant, XLM, XRP, ETH, a lot of things. And just because of the co-involvement of these different projects with the World Economic Forum, I don't think that the World Economic Forum is choosing anyone who they won't pull into and pull through the next economic revolution, which is related to crypto, in particular in the financial technology space. So this other one on IBM, he is the distributed ledger technology executive right now. And we've also got some involvement with Casper through the World Economic Forum as well. And then up here we have a tie to Quant. We have the co-founder of Quant. He was on the ISO TC 307 committee, which I provided a very high level overview of that in my Quant video that I'll put in the description. But I just want to remind me and to remind everyone else that I truly don't think HBAR is an unattractive project. I think that the price action right now is not really important. So here's an overview of the current governing council members. We've got very large people like Google, IBM, Dell, Chainlink as well. You have T-Mobile, LG, which I've talked about in the past too. And then you have ServiceNow and a couple of other banks. So you've got the ties. It's not as if the partnerships and the involvement aren't there. And I guess to reiterate that point, Cypress Domanicore, I'm not sure. But we are talking about HBAR, XDC, Quant, and Casper a lot here. And even though HBAR is below 5 cents and down 90% from its all-time high, these are incredible opportunities, and in my opinion, for what I want to get more exposure to as a part of my portfolio. We've also got XDC under 5 cents, which is down 73% from its all-time high. Quant is around $86 right now, down 75%. And Casper is now, I think it's around 0.031 cents, which is probably a little over 90% from its all-time high. I think that the most interesting one on here is Casper, because they rolled out their project at the early time of this recent bear market. So they haven't really ever had time in a bull run to see what its true price potential is. And just with everything that Casper has, I think it's also an amazing opportunity, which is also tied into the World Economic Forum. But now I want to talk more about what HBAR is actually currently involved with in the different kinds of payment applications and with what they have happening right now. So here in this article, we see that Visa and Mastercard joined forces with WorldPay to enable USDC settlement on the Hedera network with HBAR. So this was a result of a conference, and we saw a significant development with Visa and Mastercard, USDC, and HBAR as well. So if you're more interested in that, it's explaining it a little bit more here. This pattern is pretty comparable to every other payment thing out there, so that's not really anything that I want to talk about right now. But I think that the big news here is obviously just the involvement with Visa and Mastercard, and even with USDC too, because they, in my opinion, are the more preferable US dollar-backed coin as compared to Tether. I just don't trust them at all. So here's another payment thing, which is interesting because the Hashpack app, which is the wallet that I use for my HBAR, just because you can directly get staking rewards within that app itself, and it's also expanding what it can do. So Superlink has integrated with the Hashpack app, and they are trying to simplify payments. So now you can use Superlink names right from the actual Hashpack app to conduct a payment or a transfer. So if you're interested in it here, the announcement is in this link, but I think that that's the main point there. The other huge thing that I've talked about in the past is more on micropayments, which is a newer word for me, but it is common for those who are into things that actually use payments, like game apps on your phone, or even a lot of console kind of video games now. I don't like a lot of games anymore because you have to actually continue to invest in that game and not just purchase it outright. But yeah, that's a different conversation. So Drop enables micropayments for small value transactions in HBAR, USD, and in USDC as well. They also enable the trading and transferring of NFTs, but I'm not into the current version of NFTs, which is just a bunch of cartoons at this point. So the interesting thing about HBAR is that transactions are valued in USD, not in HBAR. So even as HBAR grows in value, that transaction will always remain extremely low, especially compared to a higher future price of HBAR. And then it has been tested up to 10,000 TPS as well. But I'm highlighting Drop just because of the potential for the market value of the micro payments industry, and because it is one of the organizations that got in with the launch of FedNow as well, which I have talked about in the past as well. So HBAR is more or less directly tied into what FedNow is working with, and that is up. So that is online right now. So HBAR is directly, well, it might be more indirectly, but they are directly working with a lot of very large volume things right now. And just to give some context, I found this paper here, and I will show the title, but I don't want to lose this part. The IoT market size was valued in 544 billion in 2022 and is projected to grow from 662 billion in 2023 to 3.35 trillion by 2030, with a compound annual growth rate of over 26.1% during that time. Experts predict that up to 50 billion IoT devices will be connected by 2030, which would correspond to around 6 devices per person on Earth. And this is really important for me because it is indirectly saying that the market value of these micro transactions in between different IoT devices, which, for example, an IoT device is our phone. So the market will expand by what? About 7 times in between 2022 and 2030, and HBAR is very uniquely positioned to expand in that, but they are also uniquely positioned in that right now through Drop and FedNow. So the title of this is a big future for small payments, micropayments, and their impact on the payment ecosystem. And it's coming from the European Central Bank. So people are directly talking about this right now, and they're very large organizations and institutions. So I did say that HBAR has had some price action concerns again, but over the last year, our lows are still what they were about 10 months ago or so. So I am not concerned about this at all. And if we even compare the overall projection in between the last, I guess, two or one larger bull run between 2021 and moving into 2022, we're still at higher lows than our old highs. So that's very well positioned to be a very high potential uh, token to hold moving into 2024 and 2025 when a lot of us expect the next major bull run or bull runs to actually happen. And just to illustrate that, if we compare the current market cap of HBAR against the current market cap of Cardano, which in my opinion is a very underperforming project, even though its tech is there. Uh, just now, we would still be at just over a 5x at about 25 and a half cents. But Cardano was one of the coins that had, what was it, like a 100x or more in the 2021 bull run. So I think the HBAR potential could be very comparable to what Cardano was, if not even higher, just because it is already being adopted at the enterprise height. So I say that because if HBAR had the market cap of Cardano at its all-time high, we are looking at over a 57x for an HBAR price of $2.85. And I personally think it can be higher than that. So don't give up on HBAR. A lot of altcoins are really having an issue right now, but the things like HBAR, XRP, XLM, Quant, Casper, even Algo, XDC. I don't know if I said that. In my individual opinion, I think all of those are very well positioned to perform very well in 2024 and 2025.